Hey everyone, gonna do a slightly different video today. We're gonna look at the psychology of the game, and in specifics we're gonna talk about avoiding being on tilt. What do I mean by this? I mean, you get yourself in a game. I wasn't grouping with friends here, I was playing late at night, and I got in a group that had, let's say, an interesting group composition. As you can see in the character select screen, I noticed what everybody was playing. I tried to adjust accordingly. It didn't end well. But this video is going to be about trying to avoid the frustration and, potentially the anger you can feel when things just aren't going your way in a game. It's not entirely your fault. What you can do to avoid letting this wreck your game, and how you can potentially capitalize on these situations. So there's two obvious aspects to this. The first is, how can you personally not let this wreck your fun? How can you avoid going on tilt, being frustrated to the point that you're not having a good time anymore, and the game just isn't fun for you? Now obviously everybody has a different threshold for this. How much do they let the game get under their skin and bother them when they feel like other players aren't contributing in the right way, or contributing in a way that's constructive for trying to get a victory in the game? As this game is an example, having a double Torbjorn and a Widowmaker and a Mei maybe wasn't the best composition for defending, but how did I approach that as trying to yell at these people and trying to tell them, oh, you're doing it wrong, your fun is wrong, or am I going to let them do their game, let them play the way they want to play, and try to play my own personal game as far as what was I trying to accomplish in this particular game? And what I was trying to accomplish was try to do the most amount of damage, try to get on the cap point as much as I can, try to stop the enemy team. We probably weren't going to win, but was winning everything to me having fun. And I would argue that to avoid going on tilt on a personal level, you have to at some point let go of the victory. I think anybody that's played the game for any amount of time realizes that you're just going to run into these games where you're not going to win. That for whatever reason, people decided to not get a healer in this game, or not get a tank, and more than likely the particular group composition you have is just not going to be able to overcome what the enemy team has. People don't feel like working as a group, or people don't feel like working as a comprehensive defensive unit or attacking unit. That's okay. I would argue that since this is always going to happen at a certain percentage rate in these games, you have to be able to be prepared for that and not let it ruin your own game. Try to set your own personal goals and try to meet those goals. I feel like I did as good of a job as I could have done in this game, and so I actually ended up having fun. That sounds crazy. We lost, we got slaughtered in this game, but I, at the end of the day, can look back at this game and say, you know what, I had some pretty cool moves in there, I did some pretty unique, interesting things, and I think Blizzard has set up this game to allow for that, to allow personal achievement and fun little cool moments within a losing game. I would say, interestingly enough, the second part of avoiding being on tilt in a losing game is that you can actually capitalize on being on a bad team. And what do I mean by this? Well, I would argue that in this game, in certain situations, the enemy team was so convinced that they were going to steamroll us because they were going up against two Torbjorns that were not stopping them. They were just steamrolling right through them. They had two very good flankers that were getting the advantage on our defensive players, and they were overconfident. And I feel like I got a few kills here that were directly attributed to their overconfidence. And that's an interesting concept because it plays into this kind of back and forth game that can happen. I've seen it happen in King of the Hill maps where a team will get overconfident, they'll overpush, they'll overextend, and you as one person, as one particular player on maybe a team of two or three other less experienced players, or players that are playing heroes they're not comfortable with, or that are not helpful in this particular situation, it gives the enemy team overconfidence, and I've ended up getting easy kills on players that are overextending themselves, putting themselves out of position, out of their own comfort zone, and you can actually capitalize on playing on a bad team. Again, this may not mean that you're going to win the game, that your heroics are capable of being able to turn the tide single-handedly and give you guys a victory in the end. No, it's probably not going to happen, but it means that maybe you can open yourself up for some incredible personal moments, for some moments where you catch them out of position, you catch them with their pants down being too overconfident because they've just killed 3 or 4 members of your team easily, and you come and clean them up. And so, again, this can provide for cool little statistic things that, okay, I got 4 golds on the team, I was definitely contributing, or you get a cool 3-player multi-kill, or you even end up getting play of the game on the losing team. It's rare, but it does happen. And sometimes playing on a bad team can end up increasing your chance of having these particular situations happen. Now, I know it's easy to dismiss this as some kind of Zen, kumbaya, rose-colored glasses way of looking at essentially getting your ass handed to you in a game, but look, the game is what you want to make of it, and yes, it is more fun to play with friends and play a really tough, complicated, back and forth, just extremely intense game where you come out with the victory in the end. Yeah, that's the pinnacle of this game's fun level, but you're never going to get that every game, and when you run into these games where the chips are down, you're having trouble getting a foothold on stopping an enemy team or pushing an enemy team forward, and it doesn't seem like your teammates want to contribute very much, or at least contribute in a meaningful way, you've got to let go and you've got to just relax and play the game you want to play, enjoy it, and not try to go on tilt to the point that your gaming experience is ruined. So good luck with some of these games, guys. I know they can be frustrating at times, and I know that it's tough to come away with a positive outlook on it, but just keep in mind some of the things that I said. I hope they helped, and I'll see you guys in game.